Let's fly back across the pond. How about a little Frauen-Bundesliga? Not a league we spent a lot of time looking at, but we did pay pretty close attention to Eintracht Frankfurt. They take on the big dogs, Wolfsburg, who came into this one just a single point behind Bayern Munich after 13 matches played. This one was pretty close in the first half. So some familiar faces, Anyomi, Prasnikar, Freigang, all had chances for Frankfurt. Wolfsburg stumbled into a goal when Frankfurt keeper Sina Johannes ran into mostly her own player, who was helped along by the Wolfsburg attacker. She falls over, 2 hands on the ball upon making contact with the ground, fumble, ball goes into her own goal. Pretty terrible beat for her. It happens. That kind of cracked the seal on this one. Wolfsburg then went on to add a second when Lena Latvin scored in the 86th and a third in the 93rd when Vivian Endemann scored to make it 3-0. The story coming out of this one, though, more personnel related. Speaking of transfers and free agents, seems like Wolfsburg rock star Lena Oberdorf may be on the market. She's been linked to a move to Bayern Munich, which would be an absolute coup for Bayern. Anytime you can swipe the best player from your biggest threat, that's big time. And this one feels like it's maybe pretty close to getting pushed through. Oberdorf made her Bundesliga debut at 16 years old, 26 goals over 89 starts, 39 caps for the German national team. All of this before her 22nd birthday.
Pretty good.
16th on the Guardian's top 100 list. And last year, for those who don't recall, she was a Champions League Young Player of the Season. She's unbelievable. She put one on the crossbar, which looked like she was about 1.5 feet above everybody else, and just had a sonar for the ball. Like, she just was on it. And you just notice her. She just sticks out, like, just visually, the way she moves, body type, like she's just a little bit quicker of mind than everybody else. Skill set, obviously really high as well. Really cool to kind of get a really close look at her in this one against Frankfurt.
Yeah, I mean, that play jumped out at me too. I think we're right around the 20th minute. Nuria Rabano had a really nice free kick, a really great effort from her. And you're right, Oberdorf just is fucking hovering above everybody. And she nearly buried that. I think Johannes, she got a little bit of a touch on it to force it onto the crossbar. But she looked pretty close to beating there. You know, Oberdorf, still 22, is pretty surprising the way... I mean, I think you nailed it. She is one of those players. I know it's a cliche, but we love our cliches. Jumps off the screen. Like, you don't even have to know that much to be like, oh, wait, I think that player is better than the other players. Like, how come that player's always around the ball? How come that player is like, everybody's flocking to that player? Like, yeah, I mean, she is just incredible. I think it would be, like you said, a huge coup for Bayern to get her. But, you know, I mean, I'll also hold out hope. No disrespect to any of our Bayern Munich pals out there. Not every great German player has to go play for Bayern, do they? Like, we could spread it out a little bit. And let me just say, though, I know this is isn't so much.
Let me guess. Seattle's really nice, Lena. Should come out.
I mean, come on. You know, the weather is fairly similar to parts of Germany. I mean, you swing out here.
I love it.
To this match. And, you know, we say this is a learning podcast. We're getting into these leagues. Dino mentioned, like, we haven't really covered Frauen-Bundesliga in really any real depth. Awesome environment at Wolfsburg. Like, before the match started, they're, like, flickering the lights. Like, the lights are going off and then on. And you can hear, like, wolves howling. And, like, it sounded like they're showing highlights on the video board. It just looked like a badass atmosphere there. And, you know, this is probably to our, like, longtime women's football fans here. Obviously, Wolfsburg is like a historic women's club, won the Champions League before. Mm-hmm. I left this match thinking this is a squad I want to see more of. So, you know, I'm marking them on the list too. You know, DAZN shows the Frauen-Bundesliga matches. I'm going to try to catch as many of those as I can, especially with Wolfsburg. And it would not be surprising if when we're doing next year's Champions League, if Wolfsburg is there and we're watching those matches way more closely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I mentioned, they're in prime position. They're still just a single point behind Bayern on the table. One other quick play I wanted to mention, I'm not sure if you caught this, but there was a play where Frankfurt's Lisanne Grau and Lena Oberdorf were going for the same loose ball, and Oberdorf, not even purposefully, like, levels Lisanne Grau. Okay. Like, just...
yeah.
Like, as soon as they made contact, Grau went straight, like, the physics of it just went straight down. And Oberdorf just didn't, you know, she didn't do the extended chicken wing. There was nothing. It was just like, we ran into each other and you went down and I just was only propelled faster in the direction I was already going. I mean,
I love it.
I don't know. Like she's like a freaking android out there. Like she's just playing a different game.
Yeah, and she's just a good decision making machine on top of all that physicality. So
Hell yeah.
You add that together with the physical gifts. We're talking about a real world class player here.